Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
In this explainer, we're diving into the core systems insight from Michel Foucault's massive book, Discipline and Punish. It's a deep dive into the history of punishment, but what it really uncovers is something fundamental about how modern power actually works.
So, to really get what Foucault's talking about, we have to start by looking at this unbelievable shift in how society punished people, a change that happened in less than 100 years.
Okay, picture the mid-18th century. Punishment was a horrifying public performance. I mean, it was a spectacle designed to show everyone the absolute physical power of the king. It was chaotic, it was brutal, and it was very, very public.
Now let's just fast forward 80 years, and that whole violent theater, it's gone, vanished. It's been replaced by the quiet, orderly world of the prison timetable. Power isn't about destroying the body anymore. Now it's about regulating every single minute of a prisoner's day.
So what happened? Did we all just get nicer? Foucault says, well, not exactly. He argues this wasn't just some moral awakening. It was the birth of a new and way more efficient technology of power. And this new technology is what Foucault calls discipline. It's a whole set of methods for controlling people, not through brute force, but by training their bodies and minds with these constant, subtle pressures.
So how's it work? Well, it's this whole web of techniques. You've got constant organized surveillance, making everyone invisible. You've got this idea of normalizing judgment, where everyone is compared to a standard and any deviation gets corrected. It all comes together in things like exams, which observe and judge you to classify you. Add in meticulous control over every little gesture and activity, and suddenly you can manage people on a huge scale.
The whole point of this system is to create what Foucault called docile bodies. That means bodies that are easy to control, to use, to transform, and to improve, essentially making people more productive for the economy while also making them more obedient to authority.
And this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures that dual purpose. The whole system is designed to make a person more useful and skilled, while at the same time making them way easier to control.
But that raises a pretty big question, right? How does this system of discipline get so good at its job that it doesn't need to use constant force to keep everyone in line?
The answer, for Foucault, isn't some complex theory. It's a single, powerful image, an architectural design that explains everything.
It's called the panopticon. It's a design for a prison with a central watchtower right in the middle, surrounded by a ring of cells.
Now, the real genius is the lighting. Every inmate in their cell is backlit, so they're totally visible from the tower. But, and this is the key, the inmates can't see into the tower. They never know for sure if they're being watched at any given moment. So because they could be watched at any time, they have to assume they're being watched at all times. And what happens? They start to police their own behavior. The surveillance becomes automatic.
In other words, the power becomes internalized. The inmate basically becomes their own guard. The system works perfectly, even if there's no one in the watchtower, because the surveillance is now built right into the mind of the person. It's a watchtower that works even when it's empty. And this is the crucial point. This incredibly efficient model of control, it didn't stay locked up in prisons. Foucault argues that this disciplinary system, this panoptic idea, it became the blueprint for managing people everywhere in modern life. Think about it. Schools, factories, hospitals, military barracks, they all rely on this principle of making people visible and controllable.
We basically moved from a society of spectacle, of big public displays of force, to a society of surveillance, where power works quietly, continuously, and by normalizing all of our behaviors.
So, reading Discipline and Punish is like getting a new pair of glasses. It helps you see this invisible architecture of power that quietly structures our world, shaping what we do through constant observation and measurement, often without us even realizing it.
And this analysis, which was written decades ago, leaves us with a pretty provocative thought for our own time. In an age of digital tech and social media, what happens when the watchtower has no walls and is literally everywhere?
For the full long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description.
If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.